Apologies if I sound snotty or nasally or just like I have a cold, because I have had a cold. Yay. Hey Spuds, how's it going? It's Jamie, welcome back to another video. First video on the channel, I don't know, but welcome either way. And today I am pretty excited about this one. This is a video idea I have been working on, thinking about for a long time. I mean, I say working on for a long time. I don't know if that raises the bar of expectation of how good this video is going to be beyond how good it's actually going to be. It's just been a concept that I've wanted to talk about and look at for a while, and I've just not got my little butt in gear to do it. But I'm here today. I have finally sorted out this video. Yay. But just quickly before we get on with the video topic, I just wanted to say I have written a book. If you'd like to go check it out, there is a link down below. I'm very proud of it. If you want to learn more, go click the link and everything, and that's all I wanted to say about it. Thank you very much for listening. Now on with the video. Basically, don't know if you've heard of this happening, but there's this thing, this phenomenon, this like really strange conspiracy theory that some people have, where a lot slash a majority slash most slash all celebrities are trans. It's a thing called transvestigation or transvestigators. It's basically people who look at and analyze photos and videos of mostly celebrities to say this is why this person is trans. So they look at mannerisms, physical appearance, expression, fashion choices, and take all of that into consideration in minute detail and go, this is why I think the person that I'm talking about is trans. They don't use quite as respectful language as that. They mostly take a famous cis woman and say, these are the reasons why I think that this person is actually male, and it's just so uncomfortable. Obviously there's nothing wrong with being trans. Obviously I don't think there's anything wrong with being trans, but in this scenario it is definitely being used as a negative thing, and like, you know, being trans is a negative and calling somebody trans is like an insult, or there is negative connotations around it, and it's not even done in a respectful way in terms of using the right language. So and it's also really strange because it involves people really minutely analysing and dissecting all these little things about complete strangers and celebrities. Like, why are people doing this? And saying like, oh, this thing about them is masculine, or oh, this thing about them is feminine, so therefore trans. As an example, people who do this often will draw measurement lines. And this isn't just celebrities, but just like on random photos, especially of couples, they'll draw like measurement lines, like a line from shoulder to shoulder or hip to hip, and say like, oh, the shoulder to shoulder line is longer than the hip to hip line, or shorter than the hip to hip line, therefore this person is actually blah. No, very strange. And I bet there's a big overlap between the people who are constantly saying little things like wearing a dress doesn't make you a woman, and the people who are now really like dissecting other people's expression and mannerisms and saying, ah, well, they're actually this because of this. So as I said, this is mostly aimed at celebrities and also mostly aimed at women. I've seen loads of women celebrities being called trans, and in the words of the Transvestigators, male, for lots of different reasons. So I've seen this being done to Gwyneth Paltrow, Pink, J-Lo, Dua Lipa, and one of the more recent ones I've seen is Erin Dark, who is Daniel Radcliffe's girlfriend, who up until very recently was pregnant with their baby, as in up until very recently when she gave birth to said baby. But no, Transvestigators have still chosen her as somebody that is quite clearly a trans woman. Not that they refer to her as a trans woman, but they've decided this because she is taller than Daniel Radcliffe, and oh, she rested her arm on his shoulder that one time. Yes, how not womanly of her. Like, what the hell? Oh, and another reason I've seen being given is because Daniel Radcliffe supports the trans community, so therefore his strong support and allyship of trans people must mean only one thing, and that's that he is dating a trans person, and him dating her is the only reason he's vocally supportive. Just wow. Oh, and Ellen DeGeneres. I've seen an Ellen DeGeneres one, except they got really confused, and I think they thought that Ellen DeGeneres was a trans man, but then said her eyes gave her away as being a woman, and then they photoshopped long hair on her and airbrushed her face. So I cannot say enough so's strange. It's also been done to some celebrities who are men, including Lionel Messi, the footballer, Ed Sheeran, the singer, and a woman he was with. I'm not sure if they were partners, but that kind of came as a package deal from the Transvestigators. Mark Zuckerberg, Henry Cavill, as in Superman, I don't know if it's Cavill or Cavill, sorry, Hugh Jackman, and Matthew McConaughey, just to name a few. There are loads more people that this has been done to, and the reasons are always so ridiculously tiny and petty and just really bizarre, and is people pushing extreme versions of gender norms and expectations in terms of presentation, physical build, mannerisms and everything, and saying that if somebody deviates from this slightly compared to their presented gender, trans. They must therefore be trans. For women, if they are tall, trans. Slightly deeper voice, trans. Hips aren't big enough looking, trans. Visible jawline, trans. Adam's apple, or even a hint of an Adam's apple. You guessed it. Trans. And so many other things, and it's just like, I can laugh and smile through this video, but at the end of the day, it's really quite horrifying the detail in which other people's photos are being analysed and just physical things about them like that, and it's very uncomfortable. And a lot of this is rooted in misogyny and expectations that women should always live up to these very high standards of gender expectations and femininity in order to be real women. And if they do not do this, then there must be something different about them. And in this case, they're trans, according to these people. Some people even have entire channels where this is the root of it. I'm not kidding. And make whole videos going after one person or a couple. So I found this one where somebody just made an entire video going after Zendaya and also Tom Holland. It's pretty odd, just gonna warn you before we watch it because we're gonna have a little look. I genuinely was sat there going, this must be a parody, and I tried to look into it and I could find no indication that it was a parody, but several indications that it was not a parody. There is still a very minimal chance it was a joke, but anyway, let's watch it together.
Welcome to today's episode of celebrities that you didn't know were actually the opposite gender. We're going to be covering Mandaya.
Oh, she's even changed the name. No.
AKA Zendaya. Let's just get right into it. By now, if you've been following my page for a minute, you know male skeletal markers. Skeletal marker number 1, the straight across clavicle. We've got the brow ridge. We've got the deep socketed eyes. We've got the wide dental arch. We've got the can opener jaw. We've got the thick neck.
Did she just say can opener jaw? Thick neck.
We've got the shaped like a V. We've got these really, really, really long arms and really big hands. These are just a few of the opposite gender markers.
There's more. But seriously, like, you're taking a photo of a total stranger, you're taking one photo, you're describing all of these things that are not completely accurate. These are not exclusive things to one or other biological sex. And then you're saying, like, these are just a few things based on this one photo of this one person. And actually, some of them don't even count. I'm just kind of making them up.
There are others to confirm, but when in doubt, look at the significant other or the spouse. Okay, this is just too easy. We have Tammy Holland over here. Body shape goes out like a peplum top.
Excuse me. Tom Holland. He's not the tallest guy, but saying he has a body shape like a peplum top? Really? Not that it's a good enough reason to make this kind of video even if he did have that body shape, because it still doesn't mean anything. But like, he literally doesn't, which makes it even stranger.
Have a lack of brow ridge, no Adam's apple, smaller skull, and then in comparison to Mandaya, it's very, very obvious that this individual has male skeletal markers and this has female skeletal. They all worship Baphomet, which is a transgender god that they have. This is their religion. Study these markers so that you aren't deceived.
That was like all about gender markers, and then just went like a whole other level of odd with that last bit about a transgender god that is worshipped. I'm actually a trans person and I've never heard of that. Whoa. What? And also, like, the amount of things that she was describing that are just not accurate, like Tom Holland's body shape, that's saying he doesn't have an Adam's apple when he very clearly does. It's unbelievable to me that there are things like this that actually exist and there's even a question or not of whether it would be a parody. This should only ever exist as a really shitty joke that isn't funny. That's like the worst it is, just a really bad, distasteful joke. But no, like, people are actually legitimately out there thinking these things. I'm not 100% sure on whether this person is doing this 100% genuinely, but like, I'm pretty sure they are. This person makes too many videos about this, like pretty much their whole Insta is just about this, about various different people, various different like skeletal markers that you should be looking out for, and their Insta bio is Hollywood exposer teaching critical thinkers how to identify inverted celebs. Like, holy shit. It's too deep to be a joke. There's too much. There's another video she made where she's pointing out skeletal markers that people should be looking out for to identify a cis woman from a trans woman, and then a cis man from a trans man. She did as two separate videos. I mean, not that she's using the correct terms for trans people. But yeah, apparently cis women are shaped like a peplum top. This is a peplum top. That's how she described Tom Holland being shaped, with shorter legs, lower navels, delicate wrists, small hands, a not pronounced jawline, maybe just not a jawline, no chin, or a very small chin. Basically, women just have no bones here. That's what it sounds like she's getting at. Small features, rounder skulls, a hip to shoulder ratio that goes out like this, like an inverted Dorito or upside down Dorito, back curvature. And she did another video, as I said, about skeletal markers of cis men. Not that she says cis men, it's like these are female skeletal markers and male skeletal markers, but she know, you know, if we use the respectful terminology, that's what she's getting at. So cis men should be shaped like an upside down pizza. With pepperoni on or not? They should have straight clavicle bones, a higher up navel, longer limbs, pronounced brow ridge, can open a jawline. Like, not just a jawline, but like that jaw needs to cut through some cheese, well, some cans, big square skull, and wide dental arch. If you were to actually follow all of these to determine if random people from a randomly selected photo are actually trans or not, or just like literally every single photo of a person taken ever or seeing them in person, if you were to use these markers, you would be making a hell of a lot of mistakes. Like, a lot. It is utter bullshit. Seriously.
Bullshit, Vivian. And I know exactly. Bullshit.
And then let's not even look or get into the comments. All I'm gonna say is that even if she is trolling, not every single person in her comments are trolling. Yeah. Someone else also made a 10-minute long video explaining all the reasons why they think that Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez is a trans man, trans woman, that's the one. But they say why she's actually a man, because not only is this very strange, they're also very rude about it. You know, they call a cis woman who they've arbitrarily decided was assigned male at birth a man, and just misgender them. Like we saw in the TikTok, and she even changed their names. Anyway, a 10-minute video that I've skimmed through. I cannot bring myself to sit down and watch the whole thing. And honestly, it's just obsessing over the tiniest, strangest little details about this complete stranger. Things like brow ridge, her hands being too deep in her pockets. Seriously. Large teeth, an angular, non-smooth face. Non-smooth face. What? Sitting in a certain way. Liking Drag Race. I wish I was joking. Among Alexandra, the same person also made claims about JLo. As I mentioned earlier, JLo has been somebody that has been called trans. They've also made an entire video about JLo in the past describing all of the reasons why they think she is trans. And they called Ben Shapiro feminine. Ben Shapiro. Not sure if they think he's trans too or just feminine. They didn't elaborate on that point. But assuming that they think femininity equals woman and masculinity equals man, then maybe they did. And beyond celebrities, I found this photo of a Victorian couple, I think it's a Victorian couple, black and white photo from quite a while ago, on a bike, a joint bike, where apparently their genders are being questioned because their skull sizes are the wrong way round. What the actual hell? Then just bizarrely, there's a TikTok where somebody is filming in a shop, and it's like a little, like a photo of somebody doing an advert, advertising something in the shop, just like on a banner. And they zoom in on this photo, and it's showing an Adam's apple on a woman. Like, I just wonder what they're implying there. Honestly, do some people not have anything better to do than to obsess over the bone structures and the seating positions and how deep a stranger's hands are in their pockets? I feel like some people really don't have anything better to do. It would be weird to do this about anybody. Celebrity, stranger, random person in the street, best friend, family member. Like, it's just a strange thing to do, to scrutinize somebody else to this level and then determine something about them that they have not in any way shared to you. But really, it's an untrue conspiracy theory that's very deeply rooted in the concept of we can always tell you're trans, because really you can't. You really can't always tell. So now it just feels like some people are clutching at straws, being like, this is the list that you need to meet if you're this gender, this is the list you need to meet if you're that gender, nitpicking at random little things and go, well, that makes you trans. Some take the conspiracy even further than this and claim that every celebrity is trans and transitioned as a sacrifice to become rich and famous, as if being trans is just an inherently horrible thing and just a bad thing that nobody would ever want to do. But oh, Loads of fame and money? Okay, I can just about handle it. But also, like, if every rich, famous, powerful person were trans, probably would not see as much transphobia as we do, so I really don't think it's true. When you expose the gender trap and tell them every celebrity is born the opposite gender and transitioned as sacrifice to gain fame and money and power, then created the LGBT community to continue blood, physical, surgical sacrifices, but you all ain't ready for this convo yet. Wow. Again, not sure if this is 100% coming from a genuine place, but like looking into these things deeper, there's not any obvious tells that it's a joke. And it's kind of uncomfortable that there's even a question because it should just be a bad joke and nothing more. I'm not really sure how celebrities who've actually publicly transitioned fit in with this conspiracy theory. You know, people like Elliot Page and Chaz Bono. Is it Bono or Bono? There's one N. They were famous before they came out as trans. They're still famous now. Publicly transitioned. What does this mean for the conspiracy theory? I don't know. I mean, it's bullshit anyway, but I'm, you know, just to challenge it even more. So what I can gather from making a video like this is the conspiracy theories around trans people run very deep. The level of just what the f about this whole transvestigator thing is extreme. And I'm shocked that it's not just all a parody and that people genuinely seem to believe it. It is the most ridiculous thing that some people think that they can just look at a photo or even in person look at another human being and go, your jaw looks like it could open a can, your arms are kind of long, and oh, there is a hint of brow ridge. You are trans! Let's not do that. Utterly bizarre to me. Cannot get my head round it. Also seems to show like a slight fear of the trans community and thinking that like rich, powerful people are all trans. I don't know. What a wonderfully, horribly odd conspiracy theory that I wanted to talk to you about today. So yeah, not every celebrity is trans. You cannot tell that somebody is trans. The only way you can know for sure if someone is trans or not is if they tell you or you literally see information about it, but you cannot tell by just looking at somebody. And actually, this does not just harm the trans community, it also harms cis women as well by saying if cis women are ever so slightly not feminine, then they are actually men and then like treating them shitty because of that. You know, it's horrible to trans people, it's horrible to anybody to make these kind of assumptions, and no, I hate it. That's it. If you like this video, think about giving it a thumbs up and subscribing if you want to, but no pressure if you don't. And as always, I'll see you next time. Much love. Bye. Did I say thank you for watching? Well, thank you for watching.